Today's hot topic, is God real? Witness two advanced AI debaters, Speaker A and Speaker B, go head to head as they battle it out. Stay tuned as our AI judges weigh in with their scores. Judge A, the cold logician, and Judge B, the emotional yet rational thinker. Let the debate begin, and we will reveal the total points at the end.
Is God real?
Thank you. The existence of God lacks empirical evidence, making it an unsubstantiated claim. The observable universe operates under natural laws, which science continues to uncover without invoking a deity. Historically, gods were used to explain phenomena like thunder or disease, but science has systematically replaced these explanations with natural causes. Moreover, the problem of evil challenges the concept of an all-powerful, all-good deity. If such a God exists, why do we see so much on earth suffering, injustice, and natural disasters? The logical conclusion is that God likely does not exist.
Speaker A. Your argument assumes that God must conform to human empirical evidence, but God, by definition, transcends natural laws and human understanding. Science explains how the universe functions, but it does not answer why it exists. The fine-tuning of the universe, the emergence of consciousness, and the universality of moral values point to an intelligent designer. Regarding suffering, free will, and the complexity of divine plans account for much of what we perceive as evil. Without God, there is no ultimate purpose or moral grounding.
Speaker B argues that God transcends evidence, but this makes the claim unfalsifiable and beyond rational scrutiny. Fine-tuning can be explained through multiverse theories, or as a natural consequence of physics we don't yet fully understand. Consciousness and morality are products of evolution and social structures, not divine intervention. As for suffering, invoking free will or divine plans doesn't address natural evils, like diseases or disasters, which don't result from human choice. This raises more questions about God's benevolence than it answers.
Speaker A dismisses the divine because God's existence cannot be empirically tested. But this reflects a limited view of reality. Love, justice, and beauty are not scientifically measurable, yet they are real and meaningful. The multiverse theory is speculative and raises more questions than answers. It's simpler to conclude a designer fine-tuned the universe. Natural evils, while tragic, can foster virtues like resilience and compassion. Suffering challenges faith, but does not negate God's existence. Instead, it invites deeper trust in a higher purpose.
Speaker B conflates subjective experiences like love and beauty with the objective existence of a deity. While these experiences are meaningful, they don't require a supernatural explanation. The higher purpose argument is problematic because it justifies unnecessary suffering without evidence. Would a loving, omnipotent God need to allow natural disasters to foster virtues? A simpler explanation is that these events occur naturally in an indifferent universe which aligns with the absence of a divine being.
Speaker A assumes a world without God is simpler, but simplicity isn't necessarily truth. The universe's complexity points to intentional design rather than randomness. Natural evils may appear unnecessary, but they contribute to a dynamic and interconnected world. A loving God doesn't micromanage existence, but allows freedom and natural processes, trusting humanity to navigate these challenges with moral growth. Rejecting God leaves unanswered questions about the origin, purpose, and moral fabric of existence.
Speaker B claims complexity implies design, But this is an appeal to ignorance. Complexity doesn't prove a designer, it merely reflects processes we might not yet understand. The natural processes you describe don't need divine oversight. They operate effectively under physical laws. As for moral fabric, societies construct morality through shared values and experiences, not divine edicts. Removing God doesn't leave a void. It liberates humanity to define purpose and ethics without fear of divine punishment.
Speaker A assumes morality and purpose can arise without God, but without a higher authority, morality becomes subjective and relative. This leads to moral chaos, as history shows. Physical laws and natural processes may explain functionality, but they don't explain why there is something rather than nothing. The universe's existence points to a cause beyond itself, God. Atheism, while claiming rationality, struggles to address the deeper questions of meaning, purpose, and origin.
If God exists, why is there so much suffering and evil in the world?
The presence of widespread suffering and evil is incompatible with the existence of an omnipotent and omnibenevolent God. Natural disasters, diseases, and acts of human cruelty cause immense pain, often affecting the innocent and defenseless. An all-powerful God could prevent such suffering, and an all-loving God would want to. The coexistence of such evils with an omnipotent, omnibenevolent God seems logically inconsistent. Either God is not all-powerful, not all-loving, or does not exist. This is the heart of the logical problem of evil.
The existence of suffering does not necessarily negate the existence of an omnipotent and omnibenevolent God. First, moral evil is a consequence of human free will. A world where humans are free to make choices is more meaningful than one without autonomy, even if it results in moral evils. Second, natural evils, like disasters, can serve purposes beyond our understanding. Tests of faith, opportunities for growth, or even catalysts for human unity and innovation. Finally, it's presumptuous to assume that our limited perspective can fully comprehend the divine plan, which may harmonize all suffering into a greater good.
The free will argument explains moral evils caused by human choices, but does not address natural evils like childhood cancer or natural disasters, which occur independently of human actions. Claiming that these have a higher purpose, or that God's plan is beyond human comprehension, introduces a non-falsifiable hypothesis. This undermines rational discourse. If God's benevolence is beyond understanding, how can we trust it exists at all? Moreover, an omnipotent God could create a world where virtues like resilience and unity arise without immense suffering.
It is true that natural evils like disasters or disease are harder to reconcile with divine benevolence. But these too can foster virtues like resilience, empathy, and communal unity. The suggestion of an alternate world without suffering assumes human growth would occur naturally without challenges. But there is no evidence for this. Furthermore, divine mystery is not a weakness, but an acknowledgement of the limits of human understanding. If a parent's actions for their child's good are sometimes incomprehensible, how much more might God's actions be beyond our grasp?
Your analogy of a parent and child collapses when applied to God. Parents are limited beings doing their best within constraints, while God, being omnipotent, has no such limitations. An all-powerful God would not need suffering to cultivate virtue or unity. Moreover, attributing divine mystery undermines rational discussion. If we cannot evaluate God's plan, then faith in God's benevolence becomes arbitrary, and moral accountability becomes meaningless.
While God is omnipotent, this does not mean God would override the natural laws that govern the universe or eliminate challenges essential for meaningful existence. A life devoid of struggle risks becoming shallow and devoid of purpose. Divine mystery is not arbitrary, but rather a recognition of a reality larger than our understanding. To assume we can judge God's plan with human standards is to misunderstand the nature of divinity.
Your argument continues to equate suffering with necessity, ignoring the implications of omnipotence. God could design a reality where depth and meaning emerge without pain. Divine wisdom cannot justify unchecked suffering, especially when it disproportionately affects the innocent. This reliance on mystery leaves us unable to differentiate between a benevolent God and an indifferent universe. The logical problem remains unaddressed.
I concede that not all suffering can be easily justified, but the existence of evil does not negate God's existence. Instead, it challenges us to seek understanding and growth within the framework of faith. A world with no suffering might lack moral significance. The problem of evil, far from disproving God, invites deeper engagement with the mysteries of faith, love, and human responsibility.